That was terrible.
That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction Monday.
That's right. Welcome to today's latest podcast episode of Overreaction Monday, brought to you by Game Time, the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Stay tuned, everybody, because later on in this episode, we're going to give you a $20 redeem code for your Game Time account. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Rich Eisen alongside my hot-taking compadre, Chris Brockman. How are you,
What's up,
sir?
buddy? What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Week 3 gave us a ton
There was
to talk about.
so much going on.
I got to be honest with you. Watching some of these games, I thought to myself, Brockman's going to have something on that. Wait a minute. Brockman's going to have something on that. Wait,
Dude.
Hold on a minute. Brockman's going to have something on that for Overreaction
Bad day
Monday.
for survivor
Oh,
pools.
big time.
Great day for overreactions.
When you
Rich.
say survivor pools, you're talking about Jeff Probst in an Olympic size.
Season 45 coming
Okay,
on
got it.
CBS.
Okay,
yeah.
very good. All right. Again, we're thrilled to have our new partner with Overreaction Monday, Game Time. And later on, we're going to give you that $20 redeem code,
wait.
so stay tuned for that. Chris Brockman, it is
Rich,
time
let's go.
to have this Week 3 edition of Overreaction Monday.
That was terrible.
That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction Monday.
All right, Christopher, what do you have?
Rich, we've got a dozen topics. Let's roll through them.
Dozen topics.
I just can't stop thinking about when Miami, I think they just literally scored another touchdown.
Yes, sir.
Behind McDaniel, Tua, the Cheetah, the run game, this year's Dolphins will go down as the greatest offense in NFL history.
Oh, my gosh. I will call this
Let me
an
throw some numbers at you.
overreaction.
Through 3 games, the Dolphins have 130 points. That is second all-time in overall scoring through 3 weeks, behind only the 68 Cowboys.
Okay.
But they're ahead of the 2013 Broncos, who currently have the greatest offense of all time.
Okay.
They have 1,651 yards. Most yardage through 3 weeks of any team in NFL history,
Okay.
taking down the 2011 Patriots. They also top yards per play through 3 weeks, 8.4 yards per play, which takes down the 2000 Rams, which was 8.1 yards per play through 3 weeks. Of course, the greatest show on turf, one of the greatest offenses ever. And the Dolphins have 36 drives this year through 3 games.
Yes.
They have 17 touchdowns.
These are all
literally
great numbers.
a coin flip
Wonderful
of if the
numbers.
Dolphins start a drive, if it's going to end in a touchdown.
They absolutely demolished Denver, and we came on the air on our 3-hour show. By the way, you can get that in every single hour in podcast form right here on the Cumulus Podcast Network as well. Let me tell you, we came on the air today talking about how they are the best team in football through 3 weeks and how they have been shocking everybody with just how fast they are and how well schemed they are and how they are playing well. I can't sit here and say that they're going to wind up being the greatest show on surf and turf, which is what TJ Jefferson dubbed them today. I just can't do that yet. Tua is, as you know, one snap away from this whole thing changing.
Mm-hmm.
We also don't know, however, how this team is going to fare against maybe better defenses than the ones that they've played so far. We also don't know how Mother Nature is going to handle this team when weather gets cold later on. For the moment, I will call this an overreaction, but say that they deserve all the kudos that we are giving them. Through the first 3 weeks. It's been breathtaking. It's been unbelievable.
It's been really fun to watch.
But good overreaction to start our
Thank
program.
you, sir. I was watching another game that was going on in the state of Florida, and I thought, everyone's leaving. The Jaguars bandwagon is empty. There's nobody left on the Jaguars bandwagon.
That's not true.
We have overreacted to how we thought they were going to do this
And
year.
this is another overreaction as well. I do think this past weekend is an alarm bell.
We're a little too high on them.
I do think their next 2 games in London might be a good early season change of scenery. I do remember how this team finished up last year as well. I am concerned based on what I saw yesterday. We may learn by the end of the season that the Houston Texans are one of those higher register teams. Like, hey, look, did you see what they did this past week? Well, not believing in them for the following week. We see their defense playing well for their defensive-minded head coach. We see Tank Dell now coming to the fore. We see C.J. Stroud 3 weeks in, clearly the best rookie quarterback we have, not just because of how he's performed, but he has answered the bell all 3 times. unlike his 2 top 5 or top 4 overall chosen compadres. I will just call this an overreaction. I am concerned about Jacksonville, that their next 2 games being in London against Atlanta, and then the following week they play the Bills. However, their benefit of that game is going to be that they're already in London and the Bills are just arriving. I'll be calling that game, by the way, and doing Overreaction Monday with you from London that week.
At us.
So that's on NFL Network in a couple weeks. I'm concerned about moving forward, but I can't say nobody's left on the Jaguars bandwagon. They've got too good of a roster, too good of a coach, and so much more real estate left in the playing season.
All right, well, let's talk about the other team in that game, that matchup yesterday. I love what Houston's been doing. They could be one of the surprise teams in the NFL. And I think when you look back, C.J. Stroud is the best quarterback in this class and should have been taken first overall.
I don't know if that's an overreaction by the end of the year through the first right now
through 3 weeks. He's 4th in the NFL in passing yards. He's yet to throw an interception. 5th in the NFL in completions, despite being sacked 11 times. This guy's taking a beating back there, and he's still out there, standing tall in the pocket, delivering throws.
I know. And maybe he would have found DJ Chark and maybe found Adam Thielen in a way that Andy Dalton showed Bryce Young can be found.
Right.
First overall right now to make this call. Are you including Anthony Richardson in this conversation?
I am. I'm saying he's the best QB in this class.
I think 3 weeks in, he's showing to have had the best start, but it's still too early to call this him needing to have been first overall. And I'll call that an overreaction for the moment. But you're onto something in a way that you haven't been with your first 2 suppositions to start this podcast.
All right, well, what do you think about this one?
Okay.
I was watching, I have Bijan Robinson in fantasy.
I know.
Obviously.
So does Cooper,
I live in
son.
a Falcons house. We watch all those games.
Yes.
It's time, Rich. It's time for the Falcons to hit it with the Heinicke. Time to start Taylor Heinicke. Desmond Ridder, only 2 touchdowns in 3 games. He's been sacked 12 times. He's 23rd in the NFL in yards per game, passer rating, and completions.
They're still 2-1. They're still 2-1.
Because of him. 2-1. Because of him, they're 2-1.
We're recording this before the Monday night game between the Bucs and the Eagles. Let's just suppose, if you will, that the Eagles win this game.
Okay.
They're 2-1 with the rest of the division. If they were like 0-3, I would say, yeah, you have to do this. You have to basically throw out the baby for the Heinicke water. You know what I mean? And that said, though, you're still living with the ups and downs, more downs maybe than ups, and you're still 2-1. You're still in this mix. You're still believing in the kid. I'm not ready to do that yet. I'll call that an overreaction, that they have to go to Heinicke now. Let's see what they still have in Ridder. If they were 0-3, I'd buy it. If they were 1-2, I'd be sniffing around it. They're 2-1, so I'll say that's an overreaction.
Wasn't good yesterday. Not a lot of offense.
No, I know,
and
they didn't match the intensity of the Lions. It was the first time the Falcons didn't do that this year, and even Arthur Smith was commenting about that on Monday. We'll see what happens in Jacksonville. In London against Jacksonville.
Week,
We'll see
and
what
their
happens.
defense looked good. They kept the Lions high flying in check. So
they did.
Just couldn't get an answer on offense. All right. This weekend coming up, Rich. Bears, Broncos.
Drek, as they say. In my
However,
household growing up.
However, I watch all the real estate shows out here in Los Angeles. It's a big deal. Caleb Williams needs to hire one of those guys because he needs to start looking for real estate in Denver and Chicago. That's where he's going to be next year.
Not there yet. Not there yet.
You're not there yet on Denver and Chicago being the 2 worst teams in the league?
I don't think Denver, as bad as it looked yesterday, they were in their first 6 quarters of football this year. And that is still Sean Payton. And Russ has been performing well. Cortland Sutton put it on the ground a couple of times. Denver wins this one.
What's up with their defense?
Let's just say they win this one in Chicago coming up this weekend, and then the Jets come in the following weekend, and suddenly you're leaving the realm of first overall. Chicago's got a good shot at first overall. We had Chris Long on our regular Monday show today, and he was talking about how Justin Fields survived Bryce Young. He won't be able to survive Caleb Williams. Also, don't sleep on the fact that the Vikings are 0-3 with a tough road ahead, and they might, and again, I don't think this is wishful thinking from a Jet fan right here, they might take stock and realize, okay, long term, what's best is for us to take some medicine this year.
Right.
They know the coach would know he has the backing of management for this sort of thing, and it's not going to be blamed on him after he had a terrific rookie season, Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. Maybe, just maybe, they go for it and they pull the plug and they send Kirk Cousins away so they have a shot at Drake May. They have a shot maybe at Caleb Williams. These are things that I are still too far away for me to sit here and call that a proper reaction. I'm not buying Denver's the worst team in the league. Right now, though, Chicago, I believe, is as bad as it gets right now with what happened with the defensive coordinator, what happened during the week with Justin Fields and his offensive coordinator. They're saying there's nothing wrong there. The whole building is pulling in the same direction, and then they looked as bad as they looked against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not going to say both of them are, but maybe he should start scouting houses in the Home Alone neighborhood, potentially. Yeah.
I think that house is available. Okay, you just mentioned this team. Let's skip ahead a little bit. It's always better to be early than late on something, right? You agree with that?
Well, I mean, your coach, Bill Belichick, always releases people earlier than you think.
That's right.
Correct.
Able to get first-round picks for Richard Seymour and Deion Branch when they probably still had a little bit left.
Okay.
Wish we would have kept those guys.
Yes.
It's time. Teams need to start picking up the phone. I don't know what the area code is for Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
They need to dial those numbers. Start calling the Vikings about Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. It's time.
Justin Jefferson, I think, would get the phone hung up on. Kirk Cousins is not. Justin Jefferson is the guy that you want to have there for the kid that you're drafting next. That is for sure. I think Justin Jefferson is not going to be available. Period. End of story. And I think you sit down Justin Jefferson if Kirk Cousins does get traded, if the phone does ring. And I don't know who else would be calling other than the Jets right now. And you can't get anything better than whatever the Jets are offering for Kirk Cousins from anyone else. Which other teams do you think would be calling for Kirk Cousins right now?
Could Atlanta call about them? Could Atlanta call about Kirk Cousins?
I don't know. I think that Heinicke is still there. That's their in case of emergency break glass. I don't know. I mean, somebody could get hurt.
Falcons are a playoff team with Cousins. Though.
Somebody could get hurt. Somebody could get significantly hurt. And there is this whole, thing of Kirk Cousins perhaps having a say in where he wants to go and what's going down. I don't think Justin Jefferson, first of all, that's not an overreaction where teams should do that. You should absolutely shoot your shot.
It's like when you're in fantasy, Rich, and it's early in the season, but you look down, who in my league is yet to have a win?
Yeah.
Well, let's see who they got. Maybe I can poach a tight end, poach an extra running back off them.
Well, I think for sure any team should be making the phone call. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, as Travis Kelce just proved with Taylor Swift being manifested into his suite at Arrowhead next to his mother.
Unbelievable.
How many human beings on planet Earth would love to manifest Taylor Swift next to their mom, watching them play a football game for your Super Bowl championship, defending Super Bowl championship team? I mean, Travis Kelce is truly a new height. Dream come true right now.
He hosted Saturday Night Live last year. Like, what can't this guy do?
I know. He's an SNL host. He's getting it all done. But that's why you shoot your shot.
Right.
And you definitely go for it.
Why can't the Chargers call about Justin Jefferson? They just saw him. They were just in the building. Two ones and a 4 or something. Mike Williams is out for the year now.
Again, you could shoot your shot. I don't think the Vikings have any interest in trading Justin Jefferson, but they are very close to taking phone calls on Kirk Cousins. And they better take New York's first, because that's the one that's going to offer the most, for sure.
Patriots go.
With our new sponsor, Chris, we have a halftime.
Hey.
We've reached halftime of Overreaction Monday. Again, brought to you by our new friends and partners of Game Time, because we all know how frustrating it can be to find the perfect tickets for the game or concert you've been dying to see. But with Game Time, you don't have to worry about buying tickets to your next big event, because Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat. You can take a look at where your seat is compared to the view on the field and look all around and see where your seat is in terms of your view. And they have the best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. You have an account?
I love that account.
I have an account.
Oh,
the
so
entire
good.
Rich Eisen Show family has put an account together because we love this app. It's so easy to navigate. Again, because you can not only see where your seats are going to be, they don't pull any punches. They let you know right up front what it's going to cost with all-in pricing. And the game time guarantee means you're going to always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork right now out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code OVERREACTION for $20 off your first purchase. Restrictions apply. Visit GameTime.co for terms. Again, create an account and redeem the code OVERREACTION, OVERREACTION. There's 2 R's in Overreaction. That's how you get your $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Overreaction Monday, brought to you by Game Time. Hits the second half. Can you find?
I love it.
Can you find your second half win? I just made my adjustments. I'm going
to Daniel Jones the rest of this podcast.
Here we go.
Here we go.
In Arizona.
In Arizona. Well, speaking of Arizona, Rich,
Yes, sir.
that might have been the most shocking result, I think, from yesterday, in my opinion. Also killed a lot of survivor pools. Arizona taking out Dallas. Look, I'm concerned. Dak's inconsistencies, Cowboys red zone issues. They're going to keep the Cowboys out of the playoffs.
That's insane. They're not going to be out of the playoffs.
They're not going to be out of the playoffs?
No, I could tell. That's you really think right now they're going to miss the playoffs? Chris?
I think if I watched that team played yesterday, they do not look like a playoff team.
They can't beat the Giants with that
they
team
did
one more
not
time.
look like a playoff
They can't
team
beat the Commanders
with the way
2
they
times
played
with
yesterday.
that team.
1 out of 5 touchdown red zone conversion yesterday. Last year, one of the best teams in the NFL.
Give me the Cowboys
71%
I'm demanding.
red zone touchdowns last year, 40 out of 56.
I am concerned about the red zone play. And again, I'm going to chalk it up to Trayvon Diggs goes down on Thursday.
How does that affect the red zone?
I just think that defensively it put them behind the 8 ball and put I don't know, man.
They gave up one big play, right? Rondell Moore goes 50 yards or whatever. You allow 15 points in a game, you should win.
They always have a problem punching down, and the team that punches up at them lands a right cross in a way that the Giants and Jets didn't, but the Cardinals did, and that's the concern.
They could lose the next 3 games
Get
going
out
into
of
the
here.
bye.
You really think New England's going to come in and put up enough points? Because they put up 400 yards.
Who cares if New England puts up enough points? Dallas can't score enough. They're kicking field goals.
At the Chargers, at San Francisco, home for the Rams, at Philadelphia, home for the at Carolina, home for Washington. Seattle is the
They
week
should
after
win
Thanksgiving.
those.
Missing the playoffs. I mean, in the NFC.
By the way, that's a hard. Now you look at it in the last 5 weeks, you're like, whoa, Philly.
At Buffalo, at Miami, home for Detroit, at Washington.
Washington could be trying to get into playoffs with a win.
I'm just going to call
there.
this an overreaction right now.
Dak in 3 games is yet to throw a touchdown to a wide receiver.
Again, my concern is the red zone threat is CeeDee Lamb. What else?
Where is he?
Well, I mean, if you take him out, and Bill's going to do that next week. He's going to try and say, let's see what you can do in the red zone and put up all those field goals. The question is are they going to Mac Jones their way to? Let's put it this way. They're not going to score 10 points like the Jets. I think they rebound this week. They're 3-1, and I think they move forward, and I think they get at least 9-10 wins, which is enough to make the playoffs in the NFC. What else you got over there, Chris?
Man. It's already week 3, Rich.
Yes, sir.
And there are some head-scratching coaching moves.
Okay.
We saw it yesterday. Josh McDaniels, what was he doing? Just wasted a minute and a half to get the 3 points that he already had.
Field goal
Doesn't
down
go
to
for
8.
it on 4th and 4 after you wasted all that time.
Right, and then he gets an extra set of downs, takes some time off the clock for another chance to maybe go for it on 4th down. He doesn't take that opportunity and doesn't really ever get a chance to get the touchdown he needed.
Brandon Staley, we said last week the hot seat was starting to warm up. He goes for it at his own 25.
He almost got Lane Kiffin.
O'Connell, what are you doing? I think multiple coaches. Last year, there was only one. Last year, it was just Nathaniel Hackett.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple coaches getting axed before the season ends. These owners are impatient. Frank Reich is already on the hot seat, I think.
No, get out of
These
here.
owners are impatient. They want to win, and they want to win now. They can't be having bonehead moves on national TV. Costing your team points, potentially costing your team wins.
The question is, who's out there that they'd want to get the jump on? That's why, coaches get fired early on. Sean Payton was out there, which is why guys got fired early. You want to get the jump on people that might come back.
Eberflus, what's going on in Chicago?
That may be That may be one right there.
I'm saying multiple. Over
Because again,
1.5.
well, the reason why you do it is to two reasons. One is
Right,
because
you're
there's
right.
someone
Get a
out there you
jump
want to
on.
get the jump
Exactly.
on. And two, the fan bases just are screaming for something that you take the heat off of your own organization by giving them a sacrificial lamb in the form of a head coach.
Correct.
And again, I just don't know who that would be. Is it my head coach in Michigan? Like that would be the one that you might
maybe. He's been flirting for a long time.
But he's got a job now. It's not like he's Sean Payton sitting on the.
True.
See, I'm sounding this one out because I'm trying to agree with one of your statements here because I've gone you've been overreacting throughout this thing. I'm trying to buy one here.
Understood.
I just this is entirely possible. I just don't see right now who's out there that will cause an owner to say, I need the jump on it. I got to get in touch with this person now. Or, I guess the Bears, I don't think the Jets would do this to Saleh. I just don't. It's just not his fault. This is not his fault. None of it's his fault.
But sticking with Zach Wilson too long could be his fault.
But what else? He has no option. He's not going to go Tim Boyle against the Kansas City Chiefs on a Sunday night. There's no one walking through that door.
What if Tim Boyle is Brock Purdy? Nobody never heard of Brock Purdy last year.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I hear you. I'm close to it.
I'm trying to make my case.
I know you're making a very good case here, but I'll just say right now, I'll say this is an overreaction now, but this might have been the closest to the target you've been so far, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, this one, I think.
There may be many of our
is
listeners and
Mazon.
viewers right now on our YouTube stream. By the way, those who are listening, you can watch it on our
Bears
YouTube
fans are
stream
screaming
every
through
week.
their computers.
No, maybe. I think you're voicing what a lot of fans are saying right now. I'm just not there yet.
Okay.
Fully. All in on it.
I think what you can be there all the way on is this. There's no denying it. Jordan Love has the Favre's Rodgers magic. He's got it.
There were
18 fourth quarter points yesterday. No Christian Watson. No Aaron Jones. He's got it. He's got it. I think we can put that to bed.
But like when you say Favre Rodgers, you're talking about first ballot Hall of Famer.
Favre Rodgers magic. Can Jordan Love win a Super Bowl like each of them did? Underachieved, by the way, both of them in doing so. That kid can win a Super Bowl.
Did you see some of his play action fakes? It looked just like Rodgers.
I thought that watching him in the preseason, watching him in week 1 and 2, he looks like Rodgers back there. If you're watching from where his parents watched the Chiefs game last year, it literally if you squint hard enough, is that Aaron Rodgers?
No, I know.
The dude's got it, man.
I agree.
Wait till these kids come back. Wait till he has an actual deep threat in Christian Watson.
I hear you. I'm with you.
That's why I like Green Bay to win that division this year.
I'll buy it. I'll buy it right now that he's got it. I knew he had it coming into the season. I just haven't bought it over the last couple of weeks because of how many people have been banged up. Cost him in Atlanta. Seemed to be costing him against New Orleans. Derek Carr goes down, and that was all they needed to start building some momentum to stop the Saints from scoring. And then he started putting it all together. And he's really talented, man. He is really talented. I get you. And, of course, why wouldn't he look like Rodgers when he's seen Rodgers up close and probably picked up a lot of stuff from Rodgers? And that's what I was hoping Zach Wilson would get, but Zach only gets 4 snaps of it. I still can't believe that happened. I still cannot believe that happened with Rodgers.
It's really crazy.
Oh, my
It's really crazy. You didn't even get...
The only thing I'm getting is darkness therapy. That's all I got out of it, is I'm sitting in darkness right now, man.
I was going to say, you didn't even get a drive. Like, at least Rodgers played in the preseason, and you saw the one drive, and he hit Garrett Wilson on the back shoulder. Like, whoa, okay, this is going to be nice. You didn't even get that teaser in week 1. It was 4 plays.
I can't believe it. I still can't believe it.
He was running for his life on all 4 plays. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, man. I don't like the Jets, but it sucks that happened to you guys.
Because all of these games, like this Sunday night,
it's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal.
Honestly, half the people are going to be tuning in to see if Taylor Swift's showing up.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Yeah. Well, hold on a second. I want to get to that.
Okay.
I'd rather watch Bears Broncos, I think. At least that's for something. That's literally for Caleb Williams, even though it's week 4.
Come on. There's still the Jets are still 1-2. I mean, they're just one shocking win away from turning this whole damn thing around. 1-2. They might
finish 1-16.
Well, and then
didn't the Jaguars do that a couple years ago? They won week 1 and lost all the rest of the games.
Then Caleb Williams gets to start in New York next year, and then Aaron Rodgers. That's why Aaron should be
Aaron.
He
Should be
says he's
everywhere.
not going to come back until he's walking. Well, let's get
Get him one
John
of those.
Cro-
Get him one of those motorized carts you drive
I
around the
guess he
fair
doesn't
in.
want to do that.
What are we doing?
He wants to. They should set everything up like the morning train episode from Seinfeld. You know where,
that's
where
right.
he's taking the
Costanza.
morning train. Costanza's going up and down.
Up and down.
They should set up the entire facility so he can just get around without having to walk. What else you got, Chris?
Oh my gosh. Justin Herbert, speaking of guys who have it, he is off to a phenomenal start.
He is.
He's third in yards,
How he only
second
have
in
one
passer
win?
rating, 6 touchdowns, no picks. The Chargers sadly won't win enough games for Herbert to get MVP consideration, which he should.
I think you're spot on there, pal. I think you're spot
His
on.
best
there.
year. He's finally putting it all together.
Mike Williams out for the season.
Now Mike
too.
Williams is out for the season.
hell?
And I don't think it's an accident. It's because now Kellen Moore is back there dialing up plays. He looked awesome yesterday. 40 of 47.
That's what you're talking about.
400 yards.
He was pushing it down the field. He was intermediate and deep throwing every time. He wasn't looking for a check down once.
Not once.
He was pushing it. That was so much fun to watch in a passing era like
looked
that.
great. It was
It's not one of
unbelievable.
those get the ball out quickly and then make a
Right.
bubble screen here and then a crease there and then somebody's free. He is just pushing it down the field. And you're right.
And what, they're going to go 7 and 10 again? And
I
it's
don't
not
know.
even gonna-
But 10 and 7's not enough to be an MVP
not
in this
enough.
league.
You got to be 11, 12.
I think you're right about that one. And great use of the word sadly in our topic bar.
Sadly. All right, let's stay in the AFC West
Yes.
for the last two here. I'm going to say the Chiefs liked what I saw yesterday. Didn't want to panic after week 1.
Yes, you did.
I mean, of course I did.
Of course you did.
They're going to be
Talking about.
they're going to be the only AFC West team to make the playoffs.
I think it's not a bad.
AFC West,
That's
one
not
team
a
makes
bad
it.
overreaction right now. Let's see what the Chargers do. The Chargers.
But I'm looking at the North. I think the North gets 3 teams.
You're not wrong. Steelers look good. And they play the
Steelers look
Texans.
good.
I shouldn't.
Browns look good.
I shouldn't denigrate the Texans, who would love to put a silver and a black and gold pelt on their wall. So that would be 2 in the East, 3 in the
One in the
North.
South and one in the West.
That's not a bad overreaction right now.
I
You're on a
want-
roll towards the end here. Look
right.
at you. You are like Daniel Jones in
Second half,
Arizona.
second half.
Look at you. You made the
Let's
adjustment.
go.
You made the adjustment
All right,
after we gave out
last-
the promo
last-
code
last-
of overreaction for $20
last
off.
one, Rich.
For
Last
game
one, Rich.
time. What else?
Taylor Swift has to go to every Chiefs game the rest
She
of the
does.
year. She's got to go
This
to
is
every
not an
one.
overreaction.
She's got to go to every game to
Everyone.
finish the year.
Do we know what her schedule is? No,
She's not on tour until 2024.
No.
However,
I hold on a minute.
during
Hold on
the
a second.
Super Bowl, she's in Japan, so
Okay.
let's get the game moved.
First of all,
sorry.
I looked at the schedule.
The Chiefs schedule or her schedule?
Her schedule.
Okay.
She's actually playing in 3 NFL stadiums. She's playing in Lucas Oil. She's playing in the Superdome. And I think when she's got another NFL site that she's in.
Wow.
So basically, Kelce, which, by the way, I've been told is what their cutesy couple nickname is for Travis.
At least for a couple weeks.
For Taylor and Kelce. Kelce apparently are playing in 6 different NFL facilities. Look, first of all, I'd love if she showed up in Frankfurt, Germany. So it showed the folks in Germany. Okay, yes. She does have to go to every one of them.
She's got every one
Why
now.
not?
40-1 when she's at the game.
40 burgers for everybody, which should be the name of her new album.
40
40 burgers for everybody. And all the Swifties would go, what's a 40 burger?
I mean, she looks good in red. She was wearing these cool New Balance Chiefs sneakers. Come on.
I don't think it's the color. I think she kind of looks good in any color. She's so done.
Just
By
saying.
the way, in all seriousness, that's not an overreaction.
I'm not.
Dude,
What?
Do you listen to her music or
No,
you don't?
absolutely not.
You would I'm telling you.
I don't know a single one. I only
Chris-
know I'm the problem because it's on all the reels on Instagram. Everyone's
Dude,
doing the voice
Dude,
thing.
her music is terrific.
Did you go to the concert?
No, I didn't because
Susie went.
took
Susie
right.
went,
But
right?
I'm kind of jealous. I'm serious. I'm telling you.
Not going.
I'm telling you, she's insanely talented as a
I'm not saying
performer
she's not
and a
talented.
singer and a songwriter.
I remember when she popped up on the Today Show and she was 13.
You could make the case that she's the most talented person of the couple, and you know how I feel about Travis Kelce.
Whoa. What if we combine the two Kelces?
Kelce?
Yeah. Well, no, combine Jason and Travis. Does that trump her talent?
I don't know. I'll be straight up. But yeah, I'll tell you, NBC would say right now, they have to.
She has to
She
go to New
has
York.
to flex
It's
into
gonna
their
be-
schedule.
It's going to be the best part of the game on Sunday night.
She must flex her schedule to show up against the Jets.
Can we get her in the booth with Tarico and Collinsworth on Sunday
I
night?
don't know. She's too busy cursing in front of the mother.
You believe that? She dropped an LFG screaming. She's
I would
she's
think that
drinking
makes you a
vodka
fan right off the
cranberry.
bat.
I mean, I was pretty impressed. I don't know.
And that's not an overreaction.
Jeez.
Well done, Chris. What a big finish we had. And like an encore, like the Swifties are chanting after 3.5 hours for an encore. We're about to give you our usual encore.
I need 44 takes next week.
I know.
Because so many songs
This
she
is
plays.
sick. I know, right. So we always finish Overreaction Monday with a prediction as to what we're going to overreact to the next week. We haven't gotten these right yet.
No.
These are like bold predictions on game day morning. These are like bold
Not even
predictions.
close.
You want to go first?
I got
right.
one, and
What do you got?
I think I'm going to be right.
What are we?
I think I'm
what
going to be
are
right
we-
next week.
What are we going to be overreacting to on our next Monday podcast, sir?
Dallas Cowboys officially in panic mode.
Which means you think they're going to win.
No. They're officially in panic.
They're going to lose.
They're going to lose to New England, and everyone's going to be like, whoa, Stephen A. is going to be going
You're the one who
nuts.
just said that they're not going to make the playoffs after losing once to the Cardinals.
Why not? That was just an overreaction for this
Are
week.
you
I'm
manifesting the Patriots winning in the same way?
I'm really trying to
manifesting
Yes,
Kelce?
I'm really trying to manifest a win here on
Okay.
Sunday, but
That's so sad. You're using this
I do
podcast
think
for that.
the Cowboys are still really good, like I said in the beginning of the season. So even if they lose to New England, 20-19 or something, they're still really good.
Okay.
They're still a playoff team. I don't want to panic about that. But the overreaction is going to be the Cowboys are in panic mode. You're going to see it on all the shows.
Okay.
First Take, the Undisputed, whatever. You're going to see it on all of them.
Not on our show because we don't panic.
Not on our show because you're not going to panic about the
panic.
Cowboys.
We
But
don't
I'm going to
panic.
say
TJ
Cowboys officially in panic mode.
All right, and my Overreaction Monday forecast is the Ravens are in deep trouble. The Ravens are in trouble. They play Cleveland, and Cleveland might put the bang thing on them.
Their defense is really good.
And by the way, just real quick on Cleveland, because this plays into the Ravens. I mentioned this with Chris Long on our daily show today. If you haven't seen the video of the Tennessee Titans
moving both tight ends
to the side that Myles Garrett was rushing on, and the Cleveland Browns sniffing that out, or Garrett did, and he moved to the other side, and you watch them travel, and then he moved back to the other side, and you watch them travel. It looked like the open to the Benny Hill show.
It was hilarious.
They were just running around and it caused
and then
a delay
got
of
a delay
game
game. Yeah,
because he had to wait for the tight ends to set.
right.
So I believe the Ravens are going to go to Cleveland.
And Watson looked pretty good yesterday.
And I know, and soon you might not be higher register about Deshaun, but still, the Ravens are just, as always, banged up. And I don't think we've seen their offense what it can be just yet.
The new offense is kind of, they're working through the kinks.
Odell's
They're
in and
working through the
Odell's
growing
out,
pains.
and certainly if Zay Flowers is going to get interfered with in overtime and there's no call on it.
If you're allowed to hold, then sure.
So I'll just say this is going to be the overreaction next week. But if I'm right, they're just still 2-2. Again, it's just the quarter post point.
But it hasn't looked
of
good.
a marathon. I get it, but it's
still
still just the first month of the season. 0-3, 0-4 is when you panic, not when you're 2-2, or 1-3. Like the Jets are most likely going to be after Kelce gets done with them.
Kelce.
I'm going to keep using that in a sentence.
Can she call a quarter? Like, can we just see some play-by-players? That game's going to be so bad in the second half.
NBC might
we're going to
ask
have
for
to
it.
do something.
Well, good episode, sir.
Good stuff,
Our
Rich.
first brought to you by our friends at Game Time. That wraps it up for Overreaction Monday right here. Check out this podcast every single Monday where you acquire them. We also still have the Overreaction Monday segment on the Rich Eisen Show, all 3 hours available on our podcast feed. And then, of course, there is What the Football with Susie Schuster and Amy Trask in these seats every day on Tuesday. Every single week on Tuesday, not just on this podcast feed, but also on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page as well. For Chris Brockman, I am Rich Eisen. See you on the next Overreaction Monday. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.